All right, the Crew King has arrived.
Crew King, this is a sandwich. It's a genuine. I need your advice. He needs help.
So I watched through all these videos once. I think this guy in the blue cap is like the main guy that I'm talking to, Josh. And this homie over here is a struggle bus for real. I mean, you guys are both struggling hard. I think he just nails all the balls. It is so funny, bro. And I can just totally tell that all these divot marks are y'all like just hacking, just absolutely destroying the range. Oh man, it's brutal. But man, you're never gonna get good. I don't know. You're saying like this is for you.
Yes.
And then your buddy's like, "Oh, should we hit canes?" And in the middle of your backswing, you're like, "Yes." You just nuke that.
What was wrong then?
Oh my gosh, it's just so funny. Anyways, all right. So for starters, I would say if there's a range nearby that has like turf mats, then I would highly recommend going to that range. If this is like some country club that you guys are a part of or whatever it is, then that's chill too. Most country clubs have like these balls in like the crates, so I get that. But what you guys really need is to go somewhere that is not going to like destroy the freaking grass. So that's for starters where I would go. And the second rule of thumb for everyone in this video, whoever's swinging the ball, you guys are all swinging like way too hard. So one of the main things in golf is you don't need to swing as hard as you think you do. The club itself is going to hit the ball so much further than you think if you just hit the middle. But by you swinging really hard, all of you guys are swinging like 150%. A typical golf swing is like 70 to 75% like power. Now over time you can kind of get that feeling down of like how much power, you know. But in every single one of these, you guys are all doing the most to like swing really hard. Especially this guy right here. He is just hucking this thing for some reason.
Crew King, please review this.
I'm reviewing it. Here I am. Yeah, look how hard he's swinging. He's like gonna come out of his shoes. Look at his feet. Boom! He's just twisting and falling. So this is gonna take us to one of the first points I'm gonna make, which is in the golf swing, one of the main foundational components of the golf swing is we need to have our weight. We need to have our weight on that front foot. Now, in both of you guys' swings, your weight is on your back foot, and that is problematic. I'm just making sure we're still recording here. Sorry, my bad. And before we keep going, make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Well, I mean, we're going to go through all this stuff, but the channel that you're watching this video on, just make sure that you guys are subscribed to that. That's just what I ask, since I don't like ask for like money or anything like that. So hit that sub for me. Appreciate that. Okay, let's keep going. So we really want to get dialed in our weight distribution. And again, this video is going to serve as a kind of just pointing things out. And then I'm going to send a bunch of links to all the drills and stuff to actually target all that stuff. So you can send this video to everybody, and then all those drills I'm going to send you to everybody. Okay, so yeah, really just general idea. We need our weight to get through to our front foot. And we can just see that this isn't happening because as soon as this homie's swinging, he's falling backwards. So that just tells me right away that after he completes that swing, his weight never got to his front foot, because if he were to pick up this back leg like he does right here, see how he just like falls backwards after he swings? That is rule number one. We need to get our weight to our front foot. That weight shift is so important.
Crew King, it's for you.
And this guy right here too. So if we lift, you're like, bro, what is that? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So what's happening here is if you look at your rear foot, you can see how it's just staying on the ground the whole time. Like as soon as you swing, if you were to pick up this rear foot right now, you would fall on your back because your weight is all the way on your back foot. We need our weight to get through to our front foot. That is how we use the ground appropriately. And what is happening here is you're pushing off the ground with your left leg, but as soon as you push, you're like pushing backwards and you're falling backwards. You also have what's called chicken winging happening with your left arm. We don't want that left arm to collapse through. So chicken winging is another thing. But even before we target any of that, look at your grip. So nobody ever taught you how to grip a club, I'm guessing. And that is, I mean, sure, posture and weight shift. These are all very, very important foundational things. But if you're not even holding the club the right way before you start swinging at the ball, you're cooked before you even like do anything. Same with this homie here. He's got a little bit closer of a grip, but he has what's called a really strong grip. So his left hand is all the way over on top, and his right hand is really weak. The back of his palm is facing towards like his crotch area. We need that to be much more neutral. So I'll send you a grip video. It's basically just, I mean, you can even YouTube all these things. Learning how to grip the club is where you start, and both of y'all don't have a good grip on the club. Now, obviously, swings change depending on what club you're using, but there are certain things in the golf swing that are just the same all around. And the first rule of thumb is learn how to grip the club. Your grip stays the same. Excuse me. Your grip stays the same with whatever club you're doing, so we need to make sure that that's good. The next rule of thumb is getting your weight through. You both do not get your weight through the ball, and that is going to cook you every time. If we don't get our weight through, you're going to chunk it mainly, right? Because you guys are having your weight on your back, and then you're extending your arms through, but because your weight's back, you're not going to be able to reach the ball because you're throwing the club down. It's a recipe for disaster. If you were to have your weight through the ball or onto your front foot, you'd be able to hit down on the ball and hit ball first. That's why we need that's why we need a good weight transfer. Now, homie over here does a really interesting action with his body. I actually have a buddy who does the same thing. This is just a really bad habit. So as you're twisting your body, your head and your whole body sink backwards. Like if you look at his right shoulder is like going diagonally back to touch his left hip. And this is the wrong motion. This is more like side lean instead of using your hips. So hip rotation is the next thing that I'm going to point out. For the both of you guys. This guy might have a little bit of... not really. Hip rotation is pretty key. This guy has a little bit more hip rotation, but doesn't utilize it the right way because he's getting his weight on his back foot, which is not good. This guy just like twists his... doesn't even twist, because twisting means that you're using your hips. What this guy is doing instead is just like tilting his shoulders to the left and then tilting his shoulders back right. And we need a twist. We need a twisting action. So let's see if I can point it out here. So if you look at his belt buckle, or just in front of his thighs, you can see that he kind of sinks his weight into his right hip, and his body tilts like towards the field. His body, like the back of his back is tilting towards the range, and his weight is sinking into his right hip. This is the opposite of what we want. We want him to instead twist his hips, like rotate, so his belt buckle or his buttons of his shorts would be facing the camera, not staying facing the ball, and him just sinking his weight into his right leg. That's the opposite of what we want. That's just improper weight shift. But again, I'll go over through all that stuff in the drill videos so you guys can actually work on those. I'm just going to point out some other things. He also has what's called a very inside takeaway. So working on takeaway is going to be really important for fixing this guy's swing. And then again, he is just over swinging. Like, just look how hard this boy is swinging at this ball. Just because you swing harder does not mean you're going to hit the ball. You could swing, like I could swing a third of this power, but hit the ball. You could putt the ball further than that, because putting it, you'd at least hit it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need to be swinging this hard. You could swing half as hard. Look at John Rahm. He doesn't even take the club back like up halfway, and he just nukes that thing. So you have to learn how to take like half swings and getting your weight on your front foot first, because that helps you build that consistency. Okay, let me see if this is everything.
Creek King, it's for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you saying that it's for me. I don't know if I want that swing. I ain't gonna lie, brother. Yeah, okay, and then so for this guy, the main thing for you, bro, I think this is you, Josh. You really got to fix your grip. Like, you got a baseball grip happening here, and this is just a recipe for disaster. You just cannot, you're not going to get anywhere like this. you also don't get your hips through at all. You need to stand a lot taller. See how much your legs are bent? I want you to like look at any pro or even look at my swing. No one is bent over this much. Like, you look like you're taking a Duke. You don't got to do that at all. You stand a little bit taller. Put your legs a little bit up more straight. Maybe invest in a hat that fits you a little bit better, or get a haircut. Sorry, I don't know why this turned into a roast session. My bad. Let's look at this guy. We got grip, we got hip rotation, we got weight shift, over swinging. The next thing would be maybe, oh, and then for you, I forgot, chicken winging. So chicken winging, I'll send you a video on that too. It's basically when that left arm collapses and makes like this.
What was wrong
Yeah, it's just not good. Yeah, I'll send you videos on all these things. Yeah, you guys are just hacking. So, again, try to find somewhere that has like a turf mat, or I would obviously recommend hitting off the concrete, because you don't make any divot marks like that. You're not going to struggle at all that way.
Creaking, this is a sandwich. It's a genuine try. I need your advice.
I can tell that you're honest in your attempts here. The next thing would be that I would want to point out is maybe like your setup. So his setup as well. What we want is our hands to be a lot lower. So if you put his wrists maybe more like in front of his, whoa, that's freaking weird. I have no idea how that just happened. If he put his wrists maybe like sunk a little bit more right in front of his thighs, so that the club would be leaning more so on the heel as opposed to on the toe. If we draw this line straight up from the shaft up to his arm, it would be completely straight. But instead what we want you to put your hands a little bit lower so that the weight of the club is on the heel, not the toe, just to make it, not so like straight. I'm trying to get, it's hard to describe that, but I can't show you really with this guy. You can see kind of a little bit how his shaft comes up to his hands and then his arms are a little more straight. So this creates like a little bit of an angle. This guy also has you're just gripping it too low. You don't have to choke down. I think that's a 56 too. Also with 56 and just most clubs, you don't need to have your stance this wide. It looks like a really wide stance as well. So that would be that. See how this guy's standing a little bit taller? That posture is at least a little bit better. Yeah, let's see. He's got to fix his grip though. And he's got his weight on his back foot. We already touched on all those things. He's got a little bit of what we call early extension as well. So I'll send you that video just so you can kind of get a breakdown of that. Yeah, early extension is just early extension gets paired with bad hip rotation, because if you don't rotate your hips, you're going to naturally just kind of hump at the ball. So if you look at his butt, I'm kind of lining it up with like the left side of my frame here. If we do this, and as you look at his swing, you see how his butt kind of comes up as he's hitting. So he kind of like humps at the ball instead of like twisting and rotating through. This is really a tough thing to do. It's hard even for me, but it's especially significant. Like I can really tell because of how tight your shorts are. Like, holy moly. It's okay to go a size up, bro. Jiminy Christmas. Anyway, sorry, I gotta chill with that. Actually speaking out loud. Let the intrusive thoughts win.
Yep.
Yes.
Although I could go for some reason. Anyways, all right. I think that's pretty much everything I can share with you in this video. We don't have those other angles, but that's chill. I think this was enough to at least get you guys started. If you guys can really target the things that I talked about and look at the videos that I'm going to send you, that's going to help your guys keep so much. Just look at these drills, and even if those don't help you, you at least now know what like a lot of your guys' problems are, so you can Google it and YouTube it and find other drills to target those things as well. Another thing that I would point out is probably like head movement. So working on not keeping, especially this guy, working on his head not moving so much. Yeah, there's just a lot of head movement. So if we can get that dialed down, that would be good too, because that just messes up your general body posture. But him sinking his weight into his right hip and, tilting his back so much, that is messing up his body posture too, which is just making his head move all over. So focus on a lot of those things. And bros, stay tuned. Make sure that you guys sub to this channel. That is what helps me so much more than anything else. Just because I don't ask for money, I appreciate that. And yeah, keep grinding. I'm proud of you boys. You know, golf is the hardest sport in the world. It's not even close. I've played pretty much all of them. So keep at it. You got my support, and I look forward to talking to y'all soon. All right, peace out.